Good evening. Welcome to Grandma's Attic Music Review. The lights are a little strange. That's okay. That's okay. We don't need to worry about the lights. I know that I'm in your living room and you can at least hear me. If you can't see me, that's fine. So anyway, had some stuff go on this week. You know that I have a puppy, Dipsy Doodle. He's down here gnawing on a rib bone, actually. But he gnaws on a lot of things. And this week, he ate my date book that had all the dates of all the musicians in all the world that I had booked until December. Gone. All over my living room floor. I'd never seen a mess like it in my life. My temper was calm. So calm that I was holding it in. I was so mad. Oh my gosh. So it wasn't just Dipsy, but Dipsy's sister also chewed up. Oh my goodness. So they both got time out for an hour and a half. Anyway, in the course of that, the person that was booked for taping for this show said, well, since I'm off the books anyway, da, 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 da. And I was like, okay, that's fine. Maybe I wasn't thinking that. But anyway, that's what I said. And I put the word out that if anybody wanted to do the show today, to let me know. And right away, of course, Terry LaChamp says, if you need me, I'll do it. She would do it. We're going to put up a statue. But the second person that got a hold of me wanted to know how much I was paying. I kind of laughed out loud. I'm like, no pay, but TV exposure. And while we were going back and forth about that, because this musician wanted me to pay them to be on my TV show, yeah, I don't even get paid. This dear man that has been in my list of things to do for, I think it's almost 2 years when I look back at the thing. Anyway, he's like, I'll do it. And I had to look his name up. I had to look and see if we'd communicated, if I knew any of his music. You know, I have to check him out. I can't just let any old da-da-da-da come on the show. And we had conversed, and I know of his reputation, and we're going to have so much to talk about in the interview. And I just said to him, I said, you can do I don't even know any covers. So you're going to hear all original music from this amazing human that has lived a lifetime of incredibleness when it comes to the music business. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about his music. We're going to talk about his songwriting. And you are going to be privileged to hear the other Bob.
Thank you, Dot. That gave me chills and teary eyes. Throw away your chop saw and your folding stand. Loan a friend your ladders so you never see him again. Take your ad off Craigslist and tell Angie's List you quit. Get a tape recorder and write a top 40 hit. It's the musician's guide to not working. Get on the stage and just start twerking. I can't believe I'm getting paid for doing this. Paint yourself into a corner and come out fighting First round is always the most exciting. Before you know it, you're gonna find your bliss. Change your cell phone number, change your grocery store. Amazon and Publix deliver right to your front door. Amazing things will happen if you practice every day. Before you know it, all you gotta do is play. It's the musician's guide to not working. Get on the stage and just start twerking. I can't believe I'm getting paid for doing this, except this show. Paint yourself into a corner, come out fighting. The first round is always the most exciting. Before you know it, you're gonna find your bliss. Get a list of excuses, like you have a bad back, or you tried that once and you're just not good at that. Doesn't take too long before people don't even ask. Once you're off the hook, you can finally relax. It's the musician's guide to not working. Get on the stage and just start your twerking. I can't believe I'm getting paid for doing this. Paint yourself into a corner, come out fighting. First round is always the most exciting, and before you know it, you're gonna find your bliss. Yeah, before you know it, you're gonna find your bliss. Before you know it, baby, you're gonna find your bliss.
Nice.
Thanks. Well, so yeah, I've been writing them. I've been writing for about 50. Like 60 years was 60 years ago was my first parody. I think I parodied the little old lady from Pasadena. I changed the words about to it would be about my cat. It worked out pretty good. And then I never stopped writing. Come from a family of musicians, you know. So I had no choice. I'm catching my breath, can you tell?
Yeah.
Here's a song I write. About writing songs. Could have been love or something even better. But there's never been better than when she wore that sweater that she bought in Colorado. Before we said goodbye, turned away and didn't see me cry. The next chapter begun, I was sitting in the sun, playing my guitar on the divide. Connecting all the dots, I saw that every shot I got would miss unless I aimed for the sky. Between a mean old snake and a gentle lamb, between heaven and hell, that's where I am. Letting life lead me where I belong, looking for another song. Used to make life complicated, but that was before before I loved and then hated. I've forgotten, forgave so many times that the joy and the pain fall on the same lines. And here I am with all these words coming through me like I never heard. I share them with everyone I can. It's the life I chose, it's who I am. Between a mean old snake and a gentle lamb, between heaven and hell, that's where I am. Letting life lead me where I belong, looking for another song. You might see me coming, but you won't see me running. And if you see me leaving, it's just time to move along. Between a mean old snake, the gentle lamb, between heaven and hell, that's where I am. Letting life lead me where I belong, looking for another song. Between a mean old snake, gentle lamb, between heaven and hell, that's where I am. Letting life lead me where I belong, looking for another song. Yeah, I'm looking for another song.
Woo-hoo! I like that song.
Thank you. If I was Warren Buffett, I'd wear my Sunday shoes on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, any day I choose. I'd wager all my money and my team would never lose. But everything I touch turns to the blues. I don't hold hands with starlets, I see 'em on the news. And if I ever met one, I don't know what line I'd use. 'Cause I'm not rich or famous, and I don't look like Tom Cruise. Plus everything I touch turns to the blues. But every now and then, I think my luck is bound to change. You know what I mean? And I catch myself reaching for the elusive golden ring. But I get my ticket for the merry-go-round. I get up to the ride, you know, the guy's standing there and he goes, "Hey, bro, sorry, the ride just broke down." I'm like, damn! It's true, it happens every time, like Murphy's Law. You know? So yesterday, Doc, I tried to start all over again. I tried to find some place where trouble wouldn't follow me. I stood there on the platform, waiting for the train. It never came. Now, if I was King Midas, there'd be no way I could lose. A stick, a stone, some sand, a bone would be more than I could use. Hey, can I have that?
Speaking of bones.
But there ain't no use dreaming about something I can't do. Everything I touch turns to the blue. Everything I touch, it just ain't worth that much. Everything I touch turns to the blue. You know, I just had new frets put on this guitar. It's been sitting in the closet for like 2-3 years. And I wrote so many songs on this guitar that it's so good to have him back. He's a little
It's a he.
cracked.
It's a he. Your guitar is a he.
My guitar is a he.
Okay.
Can you tell?
No. Well, maybe,
It's
yeah.
loud and
Yeah.
obnoxious.
Well, yeah, there you go. There you go. I
All
don't
right.
think so, though.
How about this one? So this one has a story. It's about, okay, this one thing, like I got divorced in 2006, and ever since it's like I meet a lot of people and I fall in love and it never pans out, you know, because I'm the only one that's in love. This one, it was this waitress at McCabe's Pub. I was with my friends Kevin and Donna. And this brand new waitress, this is a regular place for us, sits down next to me in our booth. And she's like, "Oh, I love you." And then we find out that we live in the same neighborhood, and we ended up hanging out. And then one day I walked into a nearby restaurant, and she was there with her boyfriend, which was surprising. Now let me tell you a few things. She was studying to get her real estate license. Oh no, it doesn't go that way. I flipped houses in Nashville a lot. It was my side hustle. And one day this lyric starts coming out. And I'm like, oh, I know what this is about. First time I saw her, I almost passed her by, but a pretty prairie warbler caught my lazy eye. So I turned my head, and there she shined like a Cartier diamond ring. If I knew my fate right then, I'd not have changed a thing. She's just a tiny house, but I think she's ideal. What she lacks in her back 40 is made up in curb appeal. I look in her direction, and it makes my heart reel. I think I'll make an offer, get a contract under seal. Her frame is straight and perfect, her foundation is a dream. There's no need to prop her up, she'll never start to lean. No plans or expectations, she was built piecemeal. And that's why I'm so amazed her beauty is surreal. Yeah, she's just a tiny house, but I think she's ideal. What she lacks in her back 40 is made up in curb appeal. I look in her direction, and it makes my heart reel. Hope she takes the offer and puts a contract under seal. Now Sometimes nothing is better than a little. Sometimes a little goes a long, long way. Sometimes you get caught up in the middle when you should have stayed away. Sometimes your instinct warns you. Sometimes you fall flat on your face. Sometimes you're right where you belong. Sometimes you're out of place. Love to walk around her. Look at how she's made. Found the perfect window under which to serenade. With Cyrano behind me, she'd know exactly how I feel. But if she does, I wonder if I would still be the third wheel. Yeah, she's just a tiny house, but I think she's ideal. What she lacks in her back 40 is made up in curb appeal. Look in her direction, and it makes my heart reel. I hope she takes the offer, and we get a contract under seal. Yeah, I hope she gets the offer. We put a contract under seal. She's just a tiny house, but I think she's ideal. What do you think? Nice. I need a little breathing break. Thank you. You guys are awesome. It feels like playing in my living room here, except there's a bunch of lights and cameras.
It's supposed to feel it. You're playing in the attic.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh, okay. That's where my living room is.
It's supposed to feel like playing in a home-based.
Yeah.
That's the atmosphere it's supposed to give off.
Well, it is.
I'm glad. Of course, you're the first person in 15 years that's ever said that.
Really? What's wrong with you guys? Don't you see what they're trying to do here? Here's another song about one of my crushes. I lived in East Nashville. I was like one of the early settlers, not one of the earliest, but one of the early settlers, mostly up in Englewood, which is now considered East Nashville, but back in 2002 when I bought the house, it was never considered to be East Nashville. You wouldn't say that. Different zip code. Anyway, that's beside the point. That's complaining. 2 doors down is my neighbor, and it had been 10 years at this point, and she's got 2 gals in high school, different levels. And there's my house, then Pat and Dan's, and then this neighbor's house. And between Pat and Dan and this neighbor, there's a gravel driveway, and I hear her car come in. I'm out working in the yard, and I look up at the house, and I see the 2 girls run onto the back porch, and they're trying the back door, which is locked, and they're holding their legs together. And I yell over, "Hey, Denise." I hear her talking to Pat. "Hey, Denise, the girls have to get in the back door." And she storms around the house to where I can see her. She goes, "Bob, you shut your pie hole." This is just the way she treats me. Anyway, I go back to work. She lets the girls in, and I'm working, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, I get this melody going, and I'm thinking of her telling me to shut my pie hole, and I run in the house, and I write this song. I got a girl, she's the only girl that I let tell me to shut my pie hole. She's an eyeful and she's awful, but I love her so. Yeah, I love her so. I saw her and I knew right then that she and I were meant to be friends. She and I fell right into rhythm, and I love her so. I really love her so. Sometimes I want to tell her that I love her, but I don't, 'cause she might slug me. I wish she'd kiss and hug me, but she's not that kind of girl. She lives in her own world. She calls me a squirrel, but I really love that girl. I got a girl, she's the only girl that I think is the girl for me. She and I have all the love that anybody needs. Some days we just sit around and I try not to stare in her eyes. Other times we laugh and play like a couple of crazy guys. Sometimes I want to tell her that I love her, but I don't, 'cause she might run. If she runs, I won't follow. She'd say I came uncurled. She's not that kind of girl. She lives in her own world. I really love that girl. got a girl, she's the only girl that I let tell me to shut my pie hole. She's an eyeful and she's awful, but I love her so. She's an eyeful, she's an eyeful. Did I say that she's an eyeful? She's an eyeful, she's an eyeful, and I love her so. I really love her so. Yeah, I love her so. And I never have to let her go. She loved that song. And Gypsy loves it. I know, because I barked. Hey, Gypsy, I got another one. I got a song that I collect songs. I've been hoarding them. And for years, I spent 28 years in Nashville. Yeah. And so lately, I've been finishing them up here and releasing singles, and one single came out today. Oh, okay, Wednesday. Okay. Sorry, I'm in another country. And this one is set to release in the middle of August sometime, but I don't have the exact date with me because my phone is on airplane mode. But this is for Gypsy.
Dipsy.
Oh, Dipsy.
Dipsy Doodle, Dipsy Doodle, not a poodle.
I wrote this in the style of, say, a Waylon Jennings or something. I've been chasing my tail for my whole life, and I catch it now and then. Been lucky enough to stay off the chain, but I always wonder when my luck is gonna run out and leave me in the cold, curled up in a little ball, too tired and too old to get up off the ground or even reach out for a bone, like an old dog. I'm an old dog. I'm an old dog. I'm not digital, I'm analog. And I'm an old dog. I barked up a lot of trees, some right ones, some wrong. I've howled at a lot of moons while my friends howled along. I've eaten from a can, and I've eaten gourmet food so fast I couldn't taste it and didn't care if I was rude. I'm fine with simple things or living high up on the hog, like an old dog. I'm an old dog. Yeah, I'm an old dog. I've been working on my epilogue, 'cause I'm an old dog. Between tequila and whiskey and all them cigarettes, I might have one paw in the grave, but I ain't dead yet. I'm just an old dog. Yeah, I'm an old dog. I'm not digital, I'm analog. I'm an old dog. Dog. I'm not digital, I'm analog. I'm an old dog.
He's like, I don't understand. So Bob, can you put your guitar down and come talk to me? I wanted you to be able to do one more song, but we've run out of time as
yeah.
for you to play. So you need to come and.
I talk a lot.
So while Bob is coming in and sitting down, let us talk about everything that's going on in the city of New London. Get out there and enjoy live music. The Hygienic Art Park is so open. There's a open mic at the Custom House. There's an open mic at the Golden Owl. Those days, Sunday, the last Sunday in the month is the Custom House one. And I think there's one every Thursday at the Golden Owl. I'm just telling you, there's music playing everywhere, inside, outside, live, you name it. And today in downtown New London was Christmas in July. Yesterday in New London was a private party, Christmas in July, and it was amazing. And get out there and celebrate. There's a pirate festival coming up. You can look on to newlondonmainstreet.org and find all the, oh my goodness, so many activities. Get out there and support live art and live music. Let's talk to the other Bob, okay? Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh. So, oh my gosh. Your songs are so much fun. Every single one of them had a fun aspect to it, even when it might have been about the pie hole one. Oh my gosh. I haven't heard that terminology maybe in 50 years.
Right.
And I'm old enough to know that. So that's funny. That she would tell you to shut your pie hole.
Well,
It's a thing.
it's like bless your heart down there.
I'm not sure. Bless your heart. Shut your pie hole.
Shut
It's
your
a
pie hole.
thing.
Bless your heart.
So you have had a string of experiences that have spanned, and I'm just going to say it, the decades, because you're not 22 anymore, nor am I. So we go back and we look at the history of what made you who you are today. You say you come from a musical family.
Yes.
Let's start with that. What did your parents do musically?
My father was the singer for the Al Gentile Orchestra in Hartford.
Oh, nice.
And I mean, he used to sing at the Bushnell. He used
Right,
to
right,
sing
right,
at the
right, right.
Oakdale.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
They played all over the
Compound.
place.
Yeah, and I mean, I would be like a little 3-year-old walking backstage. I met Count Basie. I met Duke Ellington. I met Tommy Dorsey. Like, I had
Nice.
no idea who I was meeting.
Right.
I had a
But that's a
cousin.
good thing because then you met them with that lack of I need to be humble or that lack of starstruckness. They were just regular people to you.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
Yeah. And then when I was 7, I found a guitar in the closet that some musician friend of my dad gave him. It was like 1963. And, you know, folk music was in. And one of his musician buddies that loved him said, dude, you need to learn how to play this, you know, because this is the new thing.
This is the new thing.
And my dad put it in the closet.
Well, he was already doing some pretty
He
amazing
was already
stuff.
doing amazing stuff. So, yeah, and I started playing, and like I said, within a year or two, I was playing songs because, you know, I had the ear.
Right.
And, you know, my little beginner's songbook, on the back of it had chords, and I would look at them and I would figure out songs. I learned Little Old Lady from Pasadena and
And then you wrote a parody to it. I want to hear it.
oh, I don't even remember it. All I
You
remember,
should dig that out.
all I remember is the little old cat that lived in Miami. Go kitty, go kitty, go kitty, go.
Okay.
That's it.
That's the thing.
All right, but anyway, I started to write, but I never showed anybody because, you know, I was a kid, and my parents were like up here to me.
Right.
Anyway, Um, I always practiced at home. I'd always come down in the kitchen and my mom would go, "Was that a record?" "No, it was me, Mom." "Oh, you sound so great." You know, she was just so wonderful, you know.
It's wonderful to have that kind of parental encouragement.
Yeah, and she was a singer. She sounded like Judy Garland. My dad sounded like Frank Sinatra.
Oh my goodness, did they ever sing together?
Yeah, and they met on the stage.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So anyway, we have to fast forward because there's a
Okay,
lot.
please, please.
I start writing. I start a band. You know, mostly bluegrass and country-based, little Grateful Dead, and dropped out of high school.
Okay. But you feel to me like an educated man.
Oh, yeah.
So with that education, when did you finally move to Nashville? And how many songs had you performed live by the time you moved to Nashville?
Before I moved to Nashville, I was in a 6-piece Western swing band. We played also jazz and blues, Lambert, Hendricks, and Ross, and Dan Hicks and his Hot Licks, and Commander Cody, and you know, and
all
we
that
worked
good stuff.
6 nights a week. We were working, like for two and a half years. That band. I also had a country rock band before that called Back in the Saddle. The 6-piece was Whistle Stop, and then, do you remember Whistle Stop?
No, Back in the Saddle strings something in here, so I don't know. I'll have to think about
We
it.
used to play the Pentangle Pub in Avon. This is like way long, 70s.
Yep.
All
So
70s.
maybe not, but anyway.
And then I dove into jazz studies, but I kept writing. And I met this guy, Ted Barton, lived in Portland, somewhere in the mid-70s, and we were going to start a band. He was a songwriter. We got together. We were playing our songs for each other. I had the steel player and the drummer, and he had the bass player and the utility guy. So we had this rehearsal scheduled, and he calls me before it and says, "Dude, I can't do the band." I said, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah. MCA, I've been sending them my stuff, and they want me to come down and just live in Nashville, and I have to do it."
Well, yeah.
He goes, "You should do it too." Okay? Well, so it took me 3 or 4 years to get there. I think it was 4.
Go ahead. Keep going.
It was 4 years before I finally got the resources to go. By the time I get there, I saw Ted on the back cover of that Willie Nelson and Family album in the crowd. There's Ted. I'm like, "Is that Ted?" But I kept in touch with him because he gave me his number. I always called him, you know. And by the time I get down there, he's running a company called Criterion Music. He's managing it. It's based in Los Angeles. It started in New York as Atlantic Music,
Yeah.
right? They had catalogs. They had bebop stuff from New York. He had Lee Hazelwood songs. He had Dr. My Eyes. You know, he was the publisher. He helped Jackson Browne get a deal. You know, this guy was amazing. And I end up in Nashville. They're sharing the office space with Rodney Crowell and Roseanne Cash. And I get plopped in the middle of all of this. Right?
Can't be a bad plop.
Hell no.
Hell to the no.
And at first, I was very, very humble. Very, 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 very humbled. I felt like my songs were nowhere near showable to any of these people. But man, I kept my ears open.
Yep.
You know, sitting in the room with, I remember when Steve Earle first came to town, we're sitting in Ted's office and he's talking about how Guy Clark told him, you know, to get out and live because you got to write what you know. And
Makes perfect sense.
yeah, so all of these little tidbits, these little tastes of wisdom from other writers start infiltrating, which also increased my need for knowledge. You know, this is where, you know, I started to read everything, philosophy, metaphysics, physics, you know, but then I had to get out and let my car break down in the Mojave Desert. Not that it was a plan,
Right.
but, you know, just go out and do the stuff that I always heard about in songs. And I lived every song that I loved. I drove Route 66 from Chicago to LA. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Oh, I do.
Yeah, and I did it. And I, you know, like the first time I saw the Pacific Ocean, it's like, whoa. And then you get out there and you love and you get your heart broken and, you know.
And you cry. And then you write a song.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you meet a waitress. And then you meet someone that tells you to shut your pie hole.
Yeah.
I love that song. Oh
And you
my
meet
God.
somebody that loves tequila more than you do. Well, no, that loves tequila more than you.
Yeah, well, that's what I was just going to say. I had a thing for tequila. So
Yeah, you would love this song.
I did love tequila more than humans. So anyway, then you leave Nashville and come home.
There's a reason. Okay, I left Nashville twice. The first time I moved to Colorado in 1991.
Okay.
Okay, so 7 years in Nashville, immersed in the
All
music
of that.
industry. I actually decided that I didn't want to push a record deal that I could have had. It's a long story,
Yep.
but I didn't want the star life. I didn't want it. You know.
Okay.
And I ended up moving to Colorado. And as soon as I got there, I started to play music again, you know, because I stopped a little bit in Nashville. And I heard about a place called Swallow Hill Music Association that every other Thursday they did an open stage. And you could sing 3 songs. So I would write 3 songs every 2 weeks and go in there and try them out. And within 3 times, the woman that ran the open stage also ran the song school, or the music school that they had.
Mm-hmm.
She asked me if I wanted to teach songwriting. So I started to do that and started to work at a local studio, producing my own stuff. And then I met this songwriter woman named Celeste Krenz. And she wanted to learn how to write songs. She had written 7 songs. We started working together, wrote a couple songs. I was recording my own record separate from her at the same time. And I was bringing people, do you know the Subdudes? You know
Not
Tim
that I know of.
O'Brien? Tim O'Brien, the fiddle mandolin guy? Okay. He played with me at the studio, and we jived really well. We were working a little bit on other things. And the Subdudes guys, I was working with them on recordings, my recordings,
Yep.
and we were getting relationships going there. And then when I started working with Celeste, I talked her into going in the studio. We wrote this one song. I brought Tim in as a co-writer, and I brought all these people in to do her first record. And man, the response, her voice is like just airy, you know. It was 1993, and that stuff took off. Through that, we charted on the Americana charts. The early Americana charts, the guy that started it is Rob Bleetstein. He's still a friend. And then we kept growing. Celeste and I ended up getting married. We had a son.
Nice.
And we decided after a tax audit that said we couldn't write it off the music business anymore unless we started to make a profit. Or,
I had that happen with Grandma's Attic.
yeah.
Can't
Oh,
write
yeah,
it off
yeah,
unless
so
you start to
understand.
show it a profit.
Right. And then the auditor said, or make a prudent business decision. And we said, well, our house is up for sale. We're going to move to Nashville. And she said, well, that would be a prudent business decision. So off we went to Nashville, 2002. I was gone for 12 years. And, you know, we got right back into it in Nashville. Except now I had a kid. I had a 2-year-old. And she was the star. So we let her
Be the star.
be the star. And, you know, it kind of took a little bit of a toll on everything.
I bet.
You know,
I
so,
understand that too.
and that's when I started hoarding songs. I tried to open a studio. It was a bad time to open a
So
studio.
we're going to run out of time. We don't want to do
Okay.
that. Bring yourself to Connecticut and where you are now. You just dropped a brand new song on Wednesday. Tell us about that. And I wanted you to perform it here. Maybe we'll just bring you to the radio station. I don't care how it works. You're
Okay.
going to perform again for me
Okay.
after today, so whatever you want to do. But bring us up to date to where you are
Okay.
today.
My son, 2 years ago, was accepted into Berklee School of Music in Boston.
Nice.
Okay, and he's amazing. I was hoping he wouldn't
I know him?
music. No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
He's mostly a composer. He's one of those guys that hangs out behind his stuff. You know.
I understand.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he was born mixing records.
Right.
Anyway, so when he did, I decided that I didn't want to helicopter him, but I needed a place, and I found a place near my brother and sister in Colchester.
Nice.
Bought it, and I'm fixing it up. Probably going to sell it, because Sam is now back in Nashville. He's finished with he just did 2 years, you know. And he just got a really cool job at a great recording studio in Nashville. And he's on his way. I'm going to go visit him next week. And that's what brought me here. While I didn't know if he was going to do 2 years, 4 years. I didn't know.
Right.
So, you know, I'm just doing my thing. And I basically went out to Dexter's. It's a little noisy.
Dexter's Tunes, Tales, and Ale.
Yeah.
We know all about it.
Yeah, I started doing their little Thursday night things once in a while. That's where I met Carolyn. Mm-hmm. The best thing that happened at
She's
Dexter's.
amazing.
Yeah,
but I'm just going to add to that there are very few unamazing musicians in the circle of people that surround her and Terry and you and JD.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
We have a plethora of extremely, and you're
Mm-hmm.
one of them, talented, brilliant, in every level of what music is. We have that here in Connecticut,
Yeah.
don't you think?
Yeah.
I would be sad to see you move back to Nashville.
I don't think I'll move back to Nashville.
Good.
I think I'll just sell my house.
And buy another one. I know.
Yeah. Okay.
He's giving me the look.
I got
so,
you.
So let's do what's really important here, and that's let people know where to find you. Where can they find you playing? Where can they find your music? Where do you want people to find you?
I want people to look online for The Other Bob, and if you can't find it, do The Other Bob Tyler, and
Right.
you'll find it. I'm on all the platforms. I released some old recordings from the 90s up to now. I just released Forever Wherever, which it's a song about being in the moment.
Nice. We have to do that.
Yeah.
We have to be in the moment.
And I'm an Old Dog will be out, like I said, in the middle of August.
So what we'll do is plan to have you on the radio when that's going to drop.
I think that's possible.
Yeah.
There's one other thing.
We'll look at the calendar.
As far as live performances, right now, I started working with a young lady in New London named Katie Dumas.
I know Katie Dumas.
We
We love Katie Dumas.
She started a band, and we are known as the Cicada String Band. We'll be at Annex. It's our first official gig on August 1st at 6:30.
I'd love to be there.
And then
I'd
there's
love to be there.
fireworks afterwards.
Nice. I hate fireworks. I hate fireworks not
I
because
bet
of me.
you do.
This one, and every person with PTSD in the world hates fireworks.
Yeah.
And the wildlife hates fireworks. But we love music. Bob, I'm so blessed that you ended up being here in place of. It's because of. You know that whole serendipity thing?
Yep.
We got that. We got that.
We
and
got
it's
it.
here. So will you take us out with a song?
Yeah. You know, you mentioned the.
Untether yourself.
Oh, that's a good idea. Since it's the way of my life
To be tethered?
to be untethered.
To be untethered. Okay, well, Bob's getting back over there and gearing up. Let me tell you that it is summertime. Don't let your animals walk on hot tar. Don't let your children walk around without flip-flops or something on their feet. Hot tar burns bad. So keep an eye on that. Keep an eye on your elderly neighbors. Make sure they have moving air and fresh water to drink. Take care of each other. Love your community and love each other. Be kind. And don't forget, hashtag World Kindness Day, November 13th. And I'm going to keep saying that, and that's all I'm going to say. I'll see y'all next week. Have a great time.
Here's a little instrumental for the credits to roll that I call Foggy Nervous Breakdown.